Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Dysfunctional Sean, and I am repping today, even though it's nasty out. And I went ahead and dusted this off early, even though the Hawks season's going well. I don't have any of the new Hawks stuff. I live out in North Carolina. I can't find anything. And all my jerseys are like Joe Johnson, my Al Horford stuff. That was the last guy. I don't have any of the new stuff. I actually wanted to get a Mike Muscala jersey, but anyway, so I reached in and I dusted off this one because this is my Father's Day present from last year from my wonderful wife, Trisha, and my stepdaughter Rebecca, and they got me this, and I rep my team, and our Falcons, I'm still a Falcons fan. I went ahead and did something on purpose. The disappointment of the Super Bowl, the disappointment of what happened. I was going to go out and buy Falcon seat covers anyway, and people are like, well, that's tacky, seat covers. So I intentionally said, go buy them now while you're hurt. Go buy them now while the pain is still fresh. So this is what is going to go on my car, on each seat. In my Nissan here, I have leather seats, and my car's about 8 years old, and the leather, I want to keep it nice. And so I'm repping today, and I think that, the Braves are going to be better than they were last year, obviously. I think that when you look at what the front office is trying to do, you got to like it, because let's be honest with our Braves this year. We're going to pull for them. We love them, but they got some work to do. Longtime Braves fans understand, our baseball team, and we understand when we've had good teams, and we understand when we've had bad teams. And look, going out and grabbing a couple of innings eaters on one-year contracts like the Big Sexy and R.A. Dickey, they're good moves. These are guys that are going to come in every fifth day, and they're going to eat innings. It's what they do. They're not going to hold people to under 5 runs or under 6 runs. They're going to be in the mid-4s most of the time. You never know. The both of them are, I'm going to be 48 this year, and both these guys I'm not more than 5 years older than either of them. But one-year deals for veterans, and I guess they were $12 million a piece. Braves had money to spend this year in the worst free agent market in a decade or something crazy like that. So I think it was a great move. You don't want to push those young horses out of the stable before they're ready and crush their careers. You got Julio, you got Tehran, he's going to anchor it, and then you got 2 solid guys that have been in the majors and performed at a high level. I don't like knuckleballers. I don't think RA is going to show us much, but I like it in the short term. I think Mike Fontenewitz will have a better year. I think Whistler is going to have a lot of pressure taken off of him, and I don't think it's going to be great, but I think it's going to be better. But I think the biggest thing that's going to surprise people, I believe, is how our bats are going to be. If you look at simply the Dansby call-up, the Dansby-Swanson call-up, and the Kemp trade, and one seemed like a salary dump, and one seemed like we were pushing, for any kind of ratings so that we could sell tickets next year. It turned out that the Braves, if you watched, August and September baseball, I believe they were a couple of games over 500. I believe they played really scorchingly good baseball. And if you look at Freddie Freeman in general, he was on pace in June to have the worst season that he'd ever had. If you look at his numbers, and then he was NL Player of the Month the last month of the year, and he just started to take off. And then the Brandon Phillips thing, you can't underestimate that trade that they just made, because Phillips is, he's a Georgia guy, and, you can't expect him to have his all-star numbers, but bringing Sean Rodriguez over from the Pirates, I think, was solid. It doesn't rush Ozzie up from the minors. And then when he goes down, bring a guy like Brandon over, he's going to get his at-bats, he's going to get his time, and you're not rushing some guy up, and you're not putting complete crap out there. I mean, I'm not completely sold on Garcia, but if he has a better year at the plate, they can't pitch around everybody. And everybody that says that Freddie can't do what he, matches numbers the last half of the season, he can. He can. If whoever's hitting in the number 2 hole, I've seen it where Swanson's going to hit in the number 2 hole. I've seen it where Garcia's going to hit in the number 2 hole. I think that you can put Brandon Phillips in the 2 hole. Maybe not him, because he's fallen off quite a bit. But if somebody in the number 2 hole can produce, then Freddie will take off, because they're going to have to pitch to him, because they can't put 2 people on base, because then they have to come straight at Kemp. And Kemp can still straighten out a fastball really, really well. So there's that. And then our lower half, if we can put Swanson in the lower half, and Brandon Phillips can hit 250 for us. I think the biggest thing that sticks out is what do we do at catcher? Everybody's talking about Matt Wieters. I was really thinking Wilson Ramos at first, a guy that was coming off a devastating injury, kind of lost his starting job to Contreras, and he was probably going to have to take a 1-year deal. I'm not sure what kind of deal he took, or if he's still a free agent, or what deal he took, but I was saying take him. He was really, really good before he got tore up, and he's going to have to take a 1-year deal somewhere to show that he's still have some pop, and that he can still be a backstop. And that's kind of my take. I think they can do it. I think that they can play 500 ball. I think they can not be a cellar dweller. I think they can, you look at what the Royals did with their young talent. They a couple years back, they outdid everybody's expectations. And the Braves can do that. I mean, as fans, that's what we're going to expect. That's what we're going to hope for. If they need to come out of the gate and do some things. They came out of the gate last year so bad that I think that the post All-Star break ball that they were playing, that was pretty good, it just kind of went to the wayside. And what I appreciate is an owner and a general manager that's trying to be competitive out there. They're not trying to get Ian Anderson's in drafts for the next 4 or 5 years and build that way. They've stockpiled the farm. They just got to wait a year or two, and then they'll all be up. And I think we got that going on. I think we're good. I think there's a lot of hype. I think the biggest problem we're going to have is really getting in and out of the stadium from where it's at. They're going to try to push games sometimes 15 minutes, half an hour later than regular East Coast times. You can look for that on the schedule, because the traffic out there where it's going to be a nightmare. And they're going to have to try to figure something out, either with public transit or whatever. But that is going to be the biggest logistics hurdle. Other than that, I think the Braves can be, competitive. I'm not ready to say they're going to jump into the playoffs, but you got to start somewhere. Swanson's got to have a good year. You look at guys like Alex Bregman. He was the 2nd pick overall to Dansby Swanson, and he's already anchoring third base for a contending Houston team, and he was the number 2 pick overall. So it can be done, and it can be done well, and with good young players can be on good teams early and produce. And if you see what Houston's been doing, Alex Bregman is penciled in to be their third baseman, and he was picked the next pick directly after our guy. So that's my take. I'm Dysfunctional Sean, and go Braves this year, and go Atlanta. Peace out.